Cubs missed out on Dylan Cease, but so did the rest of baseball other than Toronto. What's the next big move, though, to help the Cubs with the rotation? We're going to talk about some options, including one guy that the Cubs were interested in a year ago but didn't get. All that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell, and let's get this show started. Let's talk a little Cubs baseball, and I hope all of you guys are having a great holiday weekend. Let's go. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball channel, and it is a pleasure to talk to you guys. Got some of these hats. The swag is here. Make sure you hit AveD. Our QR code's right there at the bottom of the screen, Mick Nation. And you got an opportunity to win cash, to win swag, to have bragging rights. It's where our Web3 home is. That's where we're building towards, and we appreciate all of you guys for hanging with us right here. All right, next big direction. I threw that up there because I was like, well, what is the next big direction that the Cubs are going, right? And I think that what we've talked about is starting pitching, right? And even though the Cubs have a rotation right now that you could say, okay, well, we got 5 guys, not the burger, but 5 guys. What are we going to do next? And it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do next? I think they're going to have to get a front end rotation guy. And we talked about, making a deal and maybe adding Sandy Alcantara or Edwin Cabrera. But how about this guy, Pablo Lopez, right? Last year, we talked a lot about Lopez and the potential that maybe the Cubs would be interested in Lopez. They didn't get Dylan Cease. Shane Bieber decided to just take the money and stay with Toronto. So those two are going to be on the same team. Jack Flaherty's not going to be available. So you got some other guys, and we'll talk about those guys as well. But Lopez has been a Cubs trade target for, a couple of years now. And you're saying, well, why? Well, I mean, look, the guy has been really good. He's a student of the game and uses modern pitching theory and analytics to his approach. He has great control, doesn't walk a lot of batters, strikes out a ton of guys. His velocity is between 92 and 95. Sometimes he hits 97. So you love that. The problem is that he's dealt with in the last year, which wasn't the case in the previous years, some injuries, right? Forearm strain, shoulder strain, missed some time. And that was after he was really durable and fantastic for Minnesota. And obviously without him healthy, they didn't have the seasons that they've had in the past. But, do the Cubs take a risk here and try to trade for him? I think there's definitely a possibility. The Cubs were trying to make a trade at the deadline for Mackenzie Gore of the Nationals. That didn't get done. So I think that there's some guys out there, whether it's Edwin Cabrera or Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins, if that would work out. Right back to Pablo Lopez, another guy that keeps popping up. Maybe you could go back to Mackenzie Gore. I'm sure there's some other guys out there. Would they be interested in Tarek Skubal? I don't know that I'm sure they would. I just don't know that they're going to give up the haul that it would take to get him, right? So I'm curious to see what direction that the Cubs are going to go. But, I mean, if they're going to be a contender for the World Series, and that's just kind of what we talked about on the show, yesterday, you're going to have to make some moves. 2 days ago, it's like, are you serious about winning if you're not going to go out there and make the moves that it takes to win? And I think that that's kind of where the Cubs are as far as going out and getting the right pieces to contend to beat the Dodgers, right? Ranger Suarez, Philly, are the Phillies going to sign him? He was 12-8 last year, struck out 151 batters. He's one of the top pitchers in the league, at least the top 40 guys in the league. He's a 31-year-old. Would the Cubs be serious about signing him? Are they willing to pay something, in the $25 million range or more? He turned down a $22.5 million qualifying offer from the Phillies, which means if you sign him, you're going to have to give up a pick as well. I talked about Michael King. He's another guy that the Cubs may go after. 30 years old, was with the Padres. It was rumored that maybe the Cubs were willing to get him. He's another one of these guys, you look at 45 starts, had an 18-12 record in the last 2 seasons for the Padres. He wouldn't accept a $7.5 million 1-year deal, and now he's a free agent. What's his market value? Some people have calculated that it could be in the $20-25 million range for a Michael King. Starting pitchers are at a premium, right? So, is that the direction that the Cubs are going to go? But I think that if they're really going to be one of the best teams in baseball, it's going to take having top-end pitching, not just the guys in the back of the rotation, but when you get into these monster playoff series, you got to have guys that can go out there and dominate. I mean, the Dodgers won the World Series, and Yamamoto was the best player on their team, pitched Game 6 and came back and pitched Game 7. He had one of the best postseasons that I can remember since Madison Bumgarner. Like, same kind of deal. You have somebody like that you're developing. We've talked about Jackson Wiggins, but he's had a propensity to be hurt. I think he's got excellent stuff. Somebody durable, somebody that comes in ready to win. Those would be the guys right off the bat that I would think about if I was the Chicago Cubs. And I think that's what, like I said, to win, you're going to have star players. The other thing too is looking for the deals that could potentially help you win. And I talk about the Cardinals on here jokingly a lot. Every day I try to give the Cardinals a little shout out on the show. How about the trade that they made with the Red Sox, sending Sonny Gray to Boston in a deal, right? Gray had a 14-8 record and a 4.28 ERA, and the Red Sox were looking for somebody to get in that rotation. Gray was a couple years removed from finishing second in the AL Cy Young Award conversation. And that's probably why the Red Sox are going, this is a worthwhile risk, right? You're getting someone that comes with a lot of name recognition, with some years where he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. What can we get to try to add to the mix? And then, the Red Sox gave up Brandon Clark and Richard Fitz. Okay, Richard Fitz, don't call me my nickname Dick. I look at this and I go, okay, I mean, you're giving up some players that could potentially come in and help you win. But, at the same time, the Cardinals are dropping payroll and they're looking at this as maybe we're getting rid of him at the right time. The Red Sox are hoping that maybe he's got a season or two left in the tank, and that'll help them get to where they want to get, and that's to the World Series. And the Red Sox, well, look, we're a surprising contender this year, but pitching gets you there. Do the Cubs have a deal like this out there? I think that's the other thing that I ask myself when I look at this and go, okay, when it comes to pitching, we know that they got to go out, rebuild the bullpen, also add to the starting pitching, add to the top of the starting pitching, not to the back, but to the front. What's out there and available for these guys that can help them win? So that's the question. You guys tell me. Again, let's give a hat away. Comment section. Make sure that you're part of AveD. If you like the logo and you want to sport the hat, tell me in the comment section. Thank you guys for being here. Like and subscribe, thumbs up. And all you guys that watch on a daily basis, man, appreciate it so much. I said that for Thanksgiving, but just to reiterate that, love you guys. Thank you. Also, give me some show ideas. It's the off season. What can we talk about that you guys are interested in? Let me know, because we'll do that as well. So like, subscribe, thumbs up, as I always say. And don't forget that we're brought to you by the Visit Sevierville Smoky Mountains. It's a great time to do that. Going into the mountains, hanging out with the bears and the talking fish and the birds. Now, I don't know if they talk, but beautiful place. You're talking about hundreds of Christmas lights and everything else in the Smoky Mountains. And Chicagoland supplies the 4th most visitors to that region. So take advantage of it. Check it out. Visit Sevierville.com.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your smoke is start here.